There you go. There you go.
Every year, the beautiful cycle of life continues. It is a miracle to watch as new life enters into this world. The joy and exuberance that my kids have with these kids is a delight to watch.
This one.
Oh, are you hiding in there? Is it nap time? They're looking sleepy. New goat life inevitably means that it's spring, and that means our world is coming to life. As the summer wears on, the grass gets taller, and the babies, those little babies, they grow up so fast. And a new cycle starts. The cycle of getting hay home to feed our goats all winter long. Because spring, summer, and fall turn to winter quick enough. That cycle will never change. Today, in the middle of October, we've received our first skiff of snow. The cold weather is setting in.
How are ya? Why did you knock over your feeder? Hello, kid. What are you guys yelling about? Yes. Hello. Hello, dear bird.
This entire cycle of life and storing hay for the winter produces another cycle, a cycle of milk, which is one of the best parts of owning goats.
Chickens, what are you doing? They lay us eggs when we feed the goats. You goofy birds.
Several days ago, this lovely chicken was making it quite difficult to milk. I guess like everything in this world, the animal kingdom is also looking for where they fit in so that they can do and give what they were created to be.
You're a brat, chicken. You're a stink. You be nice. No! Oh, poor Faith. Here, let me help. I'm sorry, Faith. She's a stinker, isn't she? You're a stinker! You! Star! Hey! Stinker! You lost your spot, lady. Okay? Yeah, you need to go find a different spot. Menace the chicken. You're Menace. Denise the Menace or something. What is your story? Be nice. Okay, I think I've gathered everything I need for my little experiment. Well, not really an experiment, is it? More like a evaluation. Good morning. It is milking time, and we've had our first little skiff of snow with more snow coming this next week. And it is time, I believe. I've been wanting to do this for a while, and I want to know how much my goats are producing, how much milk they're producing after about 6 months of milk production. So about this last spring, about 6 months ago, they all gave birth and had beautiful little baby goats. And most of those babies are gone now. I have one left. This Eva's baby, Evan, is still with us. So he is still getting a little bit of milk here and there. I'll come in and I can tell when I'm milking her that he has just had a little bit of a drink. I still wanted to know how much my goats are making after 6 months. All right, we're milking. There we go. We'll see how much milk Eva produces. I'm going to run out of milk on her left side quite a bit faster than the right, just because her kid had some before I'm milking her. And probably to do a really accurate test, I should have locked him up somewhere, but I didn't. So, and we're right now getting enough milk for our family. So it wasn't that big of a deal, just in general, every day. All right, we're finishing up here. Get every last drop. Just working it all down.
Let's see how much she has. All right, here's our jars, and here's the first one. We're gonna put in Eva's and see how much she's made. Okay, I have my filter in here. Oh, I'm ready. All right, Eva, here's the test. These jars are half-gallon size jars, so she made about a quart, I would say. It's about half of this. So on this side, it shows just over like 4.5 cups. 4.5 cups of milk for Eva. All right, now we're gonna bring in Faith. Here she comes. I'll let her in. Ready, Faith?
Yes, of course you're ready.
Here you go. I'm giving them a good cleaning before I do any of my milking. Clean them really good. I'm also going to spray Eva with my after milking solution here. Alright, here we go, Faith. Now, she is Eva's full sister, and they are a year apart, so Faith is 1 year younger than Eva. I have found that always one side of my goats makes more milk than the other. One side of their udder seems to always produce, and it could be that the babies favored that side, so that side always produced more milk. And that's, you know, if you're having show quality goats and you're wanting their udders to be pristine, that is one reason to separate them at birth, because in a bit I will show you Olivia's udder, and they favored one of her sides a couple years ago, and it really did make her lopsided, and usually it doesn't go back even after the next years, that they'll have kind of a permanently altered udder, but she's still, you'll see in a bit, Olivia makes a lot of milk. Okay, and this is our lovely Faith. She is on display here. Okay, so I'm going to switch this over to here. So Eva. Alright. So we have here, turn right. So we have here, she is just about 4 cups. So yeah, she is a little bit less than Eva. That actually surprises me because she was making more milk than Eva. And she did have 3 babies, and Eva only had 1 this year. Whew. It's warmed up to 34 degrees and I'm hot. Gotta take off the coat. And then I might get cold, but whew, I'm hot. I thought I'd be more cold than I was. Okay, so you can see here Olivia's udder. This side is much smaller than this side. This teat is much larger than this side as well. And so that is one thing just to consider as you are keeping your kids on your mamas or not. Yes, I'm gonna start milking. Just give me a second. Yes, just give me a second. Olivia here is my best producing milk. She is the best milker that I have right now. I have full confidence that she will have the most milk today. And she is a full sister to Eva. They were born from, you know, the same mom in the same year. So they are full sisters. And it's just amazing to me the difference how they all turned out differently. So her udder is much better than her sister's and is much more full. Let's see how much she made. Here we are. Move this over. So Eva, Faith, now we'll do Olivia. Oh no, Elsie, you tell me. Obviously I wasn't paying attention. I just spilled some. Jeepers. She's definitely the winner, isn't she? I've got a bit more to put in there. Olivia, you're the winner. I'm just confident that you are. Once that gets all the way through and strains through, I think she has a half gallon of milk. Oh man, I'm gonna have to go over here. So she had, this is completely brim full, so I just switched it over to this one just a little bit because I don't want it to overflow. I've already made a mess. So what I find fascinating about this is that all three of these sisters are from the same mother, the same father, and two of them were born in the same year, and one of them was born a year later. And it's really deceiving when you look at their udders of how much they're actually making, and it just shows how when you're breeding, different results can happen. And since their mother actually was the one that passed away a handful of years ago, and so that was a very sad story. You can listen about that story on my channel. And so when I first brought home my milking goats, I didn't know anything about milking goats. I had raised goats before, but never milking goats. And so I was wanting to find goats and milk, and I couldn't find any. And we went to Washington to pick ours up, which was awesome. And those two goats were amazing. They were the best goats to start on as a beginner, and they were easy to milk. They produced enough milk for us, but their mother didn't have the best udder and best udder attachment. She had very bulbous teats, and so I could see now that that cross and having her really wasn't, if I was going to be breeding for udder attachments and just the way the udders are, that she wasn't the best, probably starting point as far as that goes. So to start with, as far as a beginner and someone that wasn't interested in raising milking goats and just wanted milk for our family, she was a great start. But if I were to look at it for confirmation and just her udder and how it looked and what it produced and how it was put together, and then her offspring, that probably wasn't the best place to start. But I wouldn't change anything as far as the way I started. And so I just encourage you to just to start. If you're wanting milking goats, just start. Just find some milking goats. You will learn, and they may not be the best. If you don't have the money to spend lots of money on high quality goats that are proven, don't. Start off with something that will be a great milker for you, give you a really good experience, get you some milk, and then go from there. You don't have to keep the breeding lines you start with, and you can experiment and add to your herd as you go along. Okay, so you can see that Olivia here, even with my spilling when I overflowed a bit ago, she produced half a gallon plus a little bit more right here. Okay, so Fiona here, she is Faith's baby. This is her second year of a freshening, her second freshening. All right, here you go. I'm going to move my coat because there is a goat chewing on it. Goat. right, there you have it. So she has just about maybe 3 cups and a quarter. Eva, Faith, Olivia, and Fiona. And clearly Olivia is our best milker. So right now I am milking 4 goats. Next year I should be, if all goes as planned, I should be milking 6 goats. So I have Opal, which is Olivia's baby that I kept last year. She's from last year's babies. And so she will be bred for the first time this year and freshening for the first time this next spring. And I'm really curious to see how that goes. I also did add a Nubian. So she's not a Mini-Nubian. So what I'm raising generally is Mini-Nubians. And so I'm excited to see how much milk she produces. So as you can see, it's kind of deceiving. And as far as what they produce, because all three of these goats are the same size and they're from the same lineage. She is the smallest of the goats and she did make the least amount out of all of them. But that doesn't necessarily mean that small goats always make less milk, because there are some Nigerian dwarfs that are from excellent breeding lines that make a pile of milk. So just keep that in mind as you are finding your goats and looking for the breed of goat that you want and the size of goat that you want and all of that. And just know that even if you start off with some milking goats that maybe aren't the best quality or what you want to end up with, it's okay. And so this is definitely enough milk for our family, with all of the yogurt that we eat and the cheese that I'm making and the just drinking it. We drink, each one of us, all 4 of us drink several glasses a day usually, and then there's some left over. So that kind of gives you an idea of what to expect potentially with a goat that you might bring home, and the differences that it may bring as well with the type and the breed and the age and all of the different factors, because there's a lot of things that affect milk production as well. You know, these guys are on really high quality alfalfa hay, and diet will affect how much your goats are making. So if they're deficient in some minerals, they will not make as much. If they have gone into pregnancy and had the problems like hypocalcemia and ketosis and the pregnancy related nutrition problems, and I encourage you to watch those videos on my channel because they are really important and they're key to the health of your goat and to how much milk they're producing, and milk fever and all that. You know, there's a lot of things that when nutrition isn't addressed and they don't have the proper nutrition, there can be a lot of things that go wrong. So you have to give your goats the best possible nutrition that there is. I hope this video was interesting for you. It was certainly for me, because I've been meaning, I knew that Olivia was making a lot more than the others, but to see it laid out like this was really fascinating to me, and so I hope it was as well for you. How much milk do your goats make? And let me know in the comments. I would love to hear what kind of goat you raise, how much they produce, and how many you're milking in a day. And let me know as well, do you have show animals? Do you show your goats, or are they just kind of a general usage for yourself, that you raise them to make all wonderful soaps and yummy foods with them? And so let me know in the comments. I love to hear from you guys. It's been such a crazy season. I feel like I've barely survived summer with all the canning that I've done and the preserving food. And it's just been a crazy summer and fall, really, because summer is just crazy with all the things we have to do to get ready for winter and to work on the property, and then fall hits or just the end of summer, fall. That's when all the preserving up here happens for me, because that's finally when everything's ready. And so I've just this fall, these last couple of months have just been canning and preserving. I am ready to be done, but I'm so happy with all the food that we have on our shelves. It is such a blessing, and it's so wonderful to live this lifestyle, and I hope you're living it as well. Have a great day. Thank you for spending this time with me, and I just love to hear from you guys. So have a great day, great week. God bless you, and be filled with joy and love. Have a great day. Stay tuned for next week when I'm going to be talking about udder care, as far as what I use for cleaning the udder and what I use afterwards to sanitize and keep the udder as clean as possible to prevent mastitis and even staph infections and all of those things. So stay tuned for that video and I'll see you next week. Okay, I finally got cold, getting on the coat again. Alright guys, I'll put that. Just give me a second.
Are you ready to be a daddy again? Yeah, we got to get that started, don't we, Shadow?
And in the fall, the milk cycle continues as we prepare for breeding season once again. Oh, guys, I need a mess. I know, Fiona, you're coming. You guys want out. Just a second. Okay, I had a mess down here.